Heyo,
What's up, folks?
Danny boy,
Bill Corpus Crispy Murphy here.
512 SIP, live on the YouTube channel, and of course, sponsored as always by the Dugout in Millwood. If you missed this live stream, as always, it is available wherever you get your podcast in audio form. We appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for joining us for another edition of the podcast on a Monday. We start the week off previewing the conference final, which is set, Bill.
Yeah, it is all set. Last night, the Cleveland Cavaliers defeated the number one seed Detroit Pistons.
Not just defeated, they've absolutely demolished them.
It was
Whipped
a good
them.
old-fashioned ass kicking.
It was great to
I
watch.
like old-fashioned ass
It
kickings.
was great to watch. I've always known that the Detroit Pistons, as good as they have been all season, they're frauds
They were frauds.
because this is a team that won 60 games over the course of the regular season. Got the number one seed. Keep in mind, the Eastern Conference really wasn't that great this year. Um, and they got exposed heavily in the playoffs. This supposed 60-win team on its way. It was a startup. People weren't expecting the Pistons to be as good as they were in the regular season. But nonetheless, they had 60 wins, and it seemed like they were going to cruise their way. Got exposed heavily by the Orlando Magic, went 7 games with that series, and then they got exposed by the Cleveland Cavaliers. That also won 7 games. Should have been 6 games, but of course the Cavs had to mess up Friday when they got blown out by Detroit in game 6. So the reality situation is the Pistons are frauds. They are not what they say they are. And I think we got some two good doozies, two good teams here in the Eastern Conference Final. For better words to say here, I don't know what the fuck I was trying to say there, but we got evenly matched teams here. The Cavs are good. They have big men. They got weapons. They got people that could beat you, and so do the Knicks. So pumped up. Oh, and the Knicks got home court advantage again in the conference final.
Isn't that wonderful?
It's great, Billy Boy.
Ah, yes. So, yeah, no, like last night, like you said, the Cavs pulverized the
Mm.
Pistons. I think that's a good word for it when you say
Sure.
pulverized.
Yeah. It was no contest after the third quarter. I mean, it was somewhat close at halftime, and I mean the deficit. What was it like? Let's see, it was 64 to 47. So what, 17-point deficit? It was 20, it was near 30 by the end of the third quarter. So the Cavs really came out to play. Jared Allen was phenomenal. He had 23 points. Donovan Mitchell obviously led all scorers. Um, Evan Mobley was incredible. The bench was incredible. Sam Merrill had himself a big time game as well, um, coming off the bench. And if you look at the Pistons stats, their leading scorer was Jenkins, who, again, he didn't even have a great game. Kate Cunningham in a game 7, we saw how clearly overmatched and unprepared he was there. It was just a nightmare to watch if you were the Detroit Pistons. At home for a game 7, you get absolutely whooped.
Yes. So, like we said, tomorrow starts the Eastern Conference Finals, game one,
Mhm.
Knicks Cavaliers at the Garden.
Yep. And from here on out, no streaming. Thank God.
What was
None of
that?
that Prime Video bullshit. Okay.
Yes, thank God.
Is either on ESPN or ABC for the Knicks. and the Cavs. If you're the Thunder and the Spurs, you're is NBC. So you can go on NBC and watch those
But
games.
hey, there will be no prime games, so
No Amazon Prime. And we're happy about that.
thanks be to God.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, because dude, I tell you every week, bro, I'm getting sick of these streaming games.
uh, well, I mean, if you look at the way the landscape is for sports, it's a disaster. The fact that we have to pay for so many of these streams, and
Because, dude, already the rent is too damn high.
I said this on Batter Up yesterday when we were talking about the baseball streams because we were complaining about how the Subway Series had no local broadcast until Sunday. And Friday night was the stupid ass Apple TV game that MLB Network produces.
Did you see what I texted the group chat going, us Yankee fans and Met fans could be united over that this is bullshit.
Yeah. Like, I don't care if Wayne Randazzo was once a Met broadcaster. Get him off my broadcast. No, I want to hear Michael Kay. I want to hear Paul O'Neill. I want to hear David Cohn. I want to hear Gary Cohen. I want to hear Ron Darling. And I want to hear Keith Hernandez. Sprinkle in a little Meredith Marakovitz. Sprinkle in a little bit of Steve Gelbs. Make it a New York centric event.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we'll talk more about that when we get to baseball. But anyway, getting back to the Knicks, can they win this series?
I think so.
I think so too.
I'm not going to go out and say that it's a definite because the Cavs are a tough team. I
I
think
can
it,
see if the Knicks win this series, I could see them doing it in seven.
yeah, it's going to be a 7 game series. Now I know I said that last time about the Sixers, and look, I get egg in my face, and shame on me for being a Knicks fan thinking that the Sixers were actually going to be competitive. But this is different. Look, the Knicks are better than the Sixers. I can't say that about the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers matched up pretty well against the Knicks. I think they'll throughout the season series, the first game Knicks won by a margin of 8 points. Second game they only won by a margin of two. And then the last game, I think it was in February, it was a 15-point win by the Cavs. So the Cavs play the Knicks very well. That's the reality of the situation. And that can't be dismissed. So while the Knicks did win the season series, it wasn't like it was a run, those were runaway victories. So I expect the Cavaliers to play the Knicks pretty tough. And look, you say what you want about Donovan Mitchell and how overrated he is, and I think he is overrated. He has played well throughout these playoffs. And he's so far, I mean, he's their top scorer. And that's someone that really, really is trying to make a point that he wants to be, like one of the best playoff basketball players out there, championship caliber player. He's trying to prove himself here. And the Knicks have to prove themselves too. It's going to be a tough series.
Oh, it's going to be a really tough series, but no, I think how they've been playing lately, I think the Knicks can pull it off in seven.
Yes. I think to say that the Knicks are going to win easily is
Irresponsible to say.
very, very irresponsible and very inappropriate given the fact that the Cavaliers, they're only one seed behind them. It's a 3-4 matchup. It's not like it's a 1 versus 8 where you know who clearly the better team is, right?
No, it's too close here, folks.
Yeah. Now we thought that would be, the Pistons and the Magic. We thought that the Pistons were clearly a better team. Not throughout the 7 games. So, Knicks fans, of course, be thrilled about the home court advantage. We want that. But you know, all that matters is winning games.
Be
Win,
cautiously optimistic.
yep, win your games. Um,
Win your games.
yeah. So I'll be looking forward to that Eastern Conference matchup, and I'm going to be looking forward to this Western Conference matchup, Thunder versus Spurs. You
Thunder, in the thunder,
know,
lightning in the thunder.
you have this Thunder Spurs 1 versus 2. Wemby versus SGA. SGA, by the way, congratulations to him. He won a second straight MVP, which is great. Um, yeah, I am full. That series starts tonight. I am absolutely excited for that series. So, um, basketball, man, it's
Yeah,
it's getting
it's
mental.
conference finals, baby. It's
Yeah.
heating up.
It really is, and we'll obviously have more continuing coverage throughout the weeks ahead. Conference final, we'll continue here in SIP as well as the sub pod, the Six Man Up podcast. Myself, the old ops guy, will have you all covered every which way.
Yes, you will. That's why we keep you around.
Exactly. So,
Okay.
we have to address the elephant in the room.
Dude, it's illegal to have elephants as pets.
Yeah.
All right, Reg. I have to say it. You were right. You were right about the Subway Series. You were right. And I know you don't want to hear that because you wanted the Yankees to win, but probably hearing me admit I was wrong probably gives you a little pep in your step.
Look, the Yankees have had an awful stretch. I mean, you're talking two of their last 9 games that they've won, and they lost 7. It's not looking good. Like the reality is the Yankees are playing like ass right now. Defensively, they look like shit. On offense, their approach to the plate has been atrocious. You're leaving runners on base. I think they left 11 men yesterday on base. uh, Incredibly irresponsible. Now, luckily, Sunday's game was close because the Mets made their own errors. And of course, the Mets are not a good team. But look, I hate to say it. The Yankees right now do not look like a baseball team that wants to win. And I know they have injuries. Every team has injuries. You got to find ways to win games. And if you're out there and your defense is piss poor and you're giving teams like the Mets wins, well, that's not going to bode well for the season.
No, it isn't. Yankees have been falling apart. The Mets have been hot right now.
Met team got a 5-1 homestand. Can't discount that.
No, you can't.
I thought Cam Schlittler did very well on Friday.
He did do well, but we didn't get to see it. You know what? I'm sorry, Reg. I'm gonna have to say, fuck Apple. Seriously.
Yeah. I mean, not everybody is subscribed to Apple. Not everybody has Apple TV.
Like, if it was just some random Friday night Yankee game that had no stake, I wouldn't be too upset. But the problem, Reggie boy, is this was a Subway Series game. This
Yes.
should have gotten, yes, should have gotten this. What was it? SNY should have gotten this. This was a Subway Series, and the New York market got screwed.
Mhm. Yeah. Missed the fact that Ken Schlittler went 6 2/3, had 9 Ks, only gave up a run. Like, he was incredible. He was absolutely incredible. And this is a very good matchup here. You had Clay Holmes. I know he gave up 4 runs, and that's very unfortunate. But Clay Holmes has been by far, up until his injury, obviously, um, the best pitcher the Mets had in their starting rotation. So it was expected to be a good matchup. And look, the Yankees won that game 5-2. But yeah, I mean, again, we talked about this on Batter Up. We've been all over the streaming and the bullshit that these companies do. Um, and of course, these billionaire sports team owners and stuff. Irresponsible to not have a platform that can have these games readily available to the customer that doesn't have the money or the access to watch Apple TV.
No, I agree. And dude, this is absurd.
Yeah, it's absurd.
This is absolutely absurd. And yeah, so we weren't able to watch that.
Yeah, so we weren't able to watch that. Um, we were able to watch the game on Saturday, the Carlos Rodon start that was piss poor. Um,
Oh my God. And the wild pitch, they got the 2 runs off. That was awful.
and the game was over right then and there. And,
Oh, it
and
was
look,
right, it was over right there.
yeah, I did not have to see um, Trent Grisham strike out with the bases loaded. I didn't have to see that. I didn't have to see Anthony Volpe ground out, whatever it is, to know that the Yankees were going to lose that game. No, the game was lost when Carlos Rodon threw away that stupid ass pitch as he was trying to come home. Like, bro, gotta be smarter than that, man. That game was over right then and there. I know the Yankees had chances later on, but that was the story. Giving
Oh,
the
that
Mets
was.
extra runs and extra outs to do whatever.
No, that could have, yeah. And then you leave, and then you leave the bases loaded.
Mhm.
The Yankees had a terrible series.
It was rough. It was rough. I
Terrible.
mean, they left a million runners on base. It's
They,
not good. The approach at the plate has been ass. You got guys trying to swing for the fences. Like Sunday's game was great in terms of the hitting, because even though they didn't really have the home runs and everything, they played small ball. What a concept, right? You're putting the ball in
what a
play,
concept.
seeing what happens. Mets made a few errors. Yankees were able to move the runners over. Like yesterday's game was a better example of how the Yankees should be approaching these types of games. And then, of course, you allow people like Aaron Judge to have the big power move, the big time RBI double, or the home runs, or whatever it is that Aaron Judge can do. He can do everything. So, but it wasn't the case.
No, Saturday's game was a shit show.
Yeah.
And yesterday's game was a shit show.
Yeah. Like I said, they had a 6-3 lead. Um, Bullpen was not great. Once again, we're having issues with our closer, David Bednar, and it's amazing what a few months can do for David Bednar. Over the course of last season, when he came over from Pittsburgh, he was lights out, untouchable. Turn
Yeah.
around 2026, not so much the case.
So yeah, this was a joke.
Yeah,
This Subway series was terrible.
yeah. It was bad. And look, Met fans are bragging today, rightfully so. Don't be mad at the Met fan because they get bragging rights. Be mad at
No,
the team for blowing games because
my
that's what they
friend,
did.
my friend Steve, Stephen Cunningham, if you are watching, shout out, good buddy. who's a huge Met fan, he texted me yesterday. He's like, tough one, Bill. I'm like, you win this round. But mark my words, dude. Round two, September.
Yep.
We're ready. We got 4 months. We're gonna get smacked again, aren't we?
I mean, I don't want to say it now because I don't know where the Mets are going to be in September.
I don't know where the Yankees are gonna be in
We have
September.
no clue what the Yankees are going to look like in September. So it's like it's tough times.
Yeah, tough times to be a Yankee fan this weekend. Like that was,
It was
yeah,
ass.
it
Complete
was.
ass.
And we got what? And we got the Blue Jays this week.
Blue Jays for 4 games.
Yeah, and as I told you off air, Reg, I am going Thursday night,
Yeah, okay.
so I get to see them suck live.
Do you think getting back to home, because I know they were on the road, even though New York is
It was a
complicated,
road game. It was in City Field.
complicated with the New York aspect, but you know, do you think getting back to Yankee Stadium would help them?
It might.
Maybe they just need to be back home for a little while. And that's what this homestand will provide us. It'll provide us with 4 games with Toronto and 3 with Tampa Bay for 7 games. And let's see what they can do to wrap up the month. I mean, look, it is not necessarily a cupcake schedule. Toronto always plays us hard. Tampa Bay's already swept us. Um, the series that I'm most worried about at the end of the month is the A series. Yeah, you can tell that like the Sacramento A's. Let's
Or the let's just call them the somewhere on the West Coast A's.
exactly. Oakland's ingrained in my mind, Bill. Like,
Poor Oakland, dude. Poor Oakland.
but they're one of the top teams in their division. All of a sudden, right?
They are.
So that's going to be a tough series. I'm not too worried about Kansas City. That Central Division is trash. Um, and of course, before that, you had Tampa Bay and Toronto. AL East is always going to be the toughest division in baseball. And like I said, both teams play the Yankees hard. So I'm curious to see what the Yankees do against Toronto. Let's see if they can get back on track. I know they're a little banged up now. We lost the Freedster for a little while with the elbow. Still waiting
Hopefully
for the
we'll have
people shortstop Caballero to come back because I'm tired of watching Volpe.
yes, I want Caballero back.
Yeah, man.
I would love to see Caballero back. I'm tired of this horse shit, man.
Yeah. And look, it was just a 9 game stretch, and we're like, this is brutal. This sucks. God. Even when Tampa Bay loses, Yankees can't help themselves.
They can't. And did the Yankees possibly peak too early?
I don't think it's about peaking too early. I think the fact that they had a softer schedule than they do now. I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that they were healthy, they were rolling, and like I said, soft schedule. But now that they're in May, they're banked up and they're facing, you know, teams that are slowly but surely becoming competitive. Like for instance, the Brewers over 500, you can't beat them. The Orioles are tricky because the Orioles should be better than what they are now, but like I said, more competitive than you thought. The Mets have been playing well. See what they do against the Blue Jays. It's really all about what they can do with that.
100% agreed. And for one more deep dive, I guess we'll be doing Bombers banter sometime next week.
Yeah, probably before the A series, if we can. Um,
And that's next weekend, right?
yeah, yes. So it'd be no, it'd be the 29th to 31st, Friday to Sunday. So not this coming weekend, the following weekend.
Yeah, next week.
Fine. We'll call it
No,
next week.
no, because this coming weekend is this weekend.
Right, but they're not facing the A's. They're facing
No,
the
no, I
Rays.
know they're playing the Rays this weekend.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the A's.
I know they're playing the Rays this weekend.
Right.
Okay, so
I'm
next,
talking about doing a Bombers banter before the A's series.
which is next weekend. Um,
The A's?
no, they said the 29th through the 31st, right?
Correct.
Next weekend.
But it's not next week. Next weekend is the Memorial Day.
Stop trying to confuse me.
It's not confusing. Next week is Memorial Day, and then there's another weekend.
No, this weekend is Memorial Day because we are now in a weekend. So this weekend would be this coming weekend. Who's on first?
Oh my God.
Who's on first? What's on second? I don't know who's on
Bill,
third. First base.
Bill is being right now. Bill is being very technical.
Yes, I am being technical. I'm proud of it. So next week,
He's being technical.
who's on first? Um,
that was hilarious. That was actually pretty funny though. That was pretty funny.
yeah. Um,
Yeah.
but no, but we can agree on this. We will have a Bombers banter for you sometime next week.
Yeah.
That is what we were agreeing on.
Mhm. And again, we'll break down everything. Um, it's been rough for the Yankees this month. I didn't expect it to be, but it's been rough. Um, Starts tonight. Ryan Weathers on the mound. Patrick Corbin with the Blue Jays. Corbin has been okay, but of course Ryan Weathers has had some pretty good solid starts. So let's see what he can do. Um, Southpaw on the mound, 7 o'clock.
Tonight from the Bronx.
And then one team that has been surging under Donnie Baseball. How
The,
about the Philadelphia Phillies,
the
my friend?
Phillies.
Bro, 15-4 under Don Mattingly. So, and of course, I really hate this for our boy Topper, Robbie Thompson, because he did such a tremendous job with that Philly team. Maybe Don Mattingly's what they needed. Maybe they just needed a new voice. Who would have thought?
And, Donnie Baseball, whose son just happens to be the GM of the Phillies.
Who would have thought? You know what? Let's bring Don Mattingly to the coaching staff. Let's fire the manager, and all of a sudden the Phillies are great again.
Oh
uh,
no, we don't want to give Philadelphia sports fans credit right now. We were enjoying watching them be miserable.
oh God. Um, Look, a great weekend in Pittsburgh. They swept them 3 games. Um, Zach Wheeler's back. All of a sudden, Zach Wheeler out there dominating his starts.
Yes.
Oh my. No, the Phillies have played tremendous ball over the past month. And, look, they're back over 500. And Again, they're rolling ready to go and right in time, you know, for the summer stretch.
The summer stretch. Yep.
God damn.
Yeah, we're more than halfway through May.
Can you believe that? Memorial Day's next Monday.
Yeah, but you know what officially ends when this month ends? The insert month here. Like it's
Mhm.
only insert month here.
Yes, that's done.
That is done, and now it's time to hit the panic button.
Mhm.
Agree or disagree? Time to hit the panic button there. What do you think?
Well, obviously, if your teams like, let's just say, the Red Sox, Royals, the Giants, I wouldn't necessarily panic yet. Well, actually, let me take that back. I would panic if I was those teams.
Oh,
But
I
if
would
you're
too.
but if you're Pittsburgh, if you're the Reds, you're the Diamondbacks, you're the Nationals, I wouldn't panic
What
because
if you're
those
the
teams are
Yankees?
actually
Should we start
playing better.
panicking?
Yeah, because those teams are actually playing better than they think, and they're right in the mix of it.
No. Yeah, no, I agree. So, yeah, the it's only May excuse ends not
Mhm.
this Sunday, the following Sunday, the 31st.
Mhm.
Then please insert your end of May, your it's only May card here because it ends at that point.
Yeah, the excuses. I'd be tired of the excuses at that point. You know, it's done. It's
No,
over.
I would be done too.
You know, we gotta see what the teams are for what they are. Hopefully for the
So,
Yankees, it'll mean that the Yankees are in the first wild card spot and not trailing behind the White Sox, who, by the way, are in the second wild card spot. Can you believe that?
okay, who had this on the bingo card? Did you have this on the bingo card, Reg?
Not really,
Me
but they're
neither.
playing well through a month and a half.
Get well, they got someone who could be giving them some divine intervention.
Hmm.
Hey, when one of your fans is the Pope, you know you're doing something
Yeah, well, he blessed him against the Cubs, though. I'll tell you that much.
right. Yep.
The walk off to end that series.
Remember, he's probably thinking, "Who's our fan? Our number one fan is the Pope, so you be quiet.
Yeah,
You stay on your north side. We stay on our south side."
yeah, man.
Yeah. So anyway, the NFL voters are voting this week to have the Super Bowl in Nashville.
Yeah, how about Nashville?
That'd be a cool city to have it.
Yeah, it'll be in 2030. Um, this is obviously when the Titans' new stadium will be open at that point. It's expected to open next season. So it'll be the Titans' new stadium that will be where the Super Bowl will be at. Look, I mean, cities like Nashville deserve it. Look, it's a great city, great with music and everything,
No, my parents were just there.
and look, I just think it's great that because we always go to like a Vegas or LA and all that stuff,
Miami.
Miami, like let's showcase other great cities in America like Nashville.
And
So
it's like in some places, I don't think they want to showcase, like, say, northern cities, even though they did have it in New York. I mean, I'm sorry, East Rutherford. I know Reggie's not going to let me get away with that.
well, it's not that I'm gonna. It's not about getting away with it. I'm just trying to be technical, for all those technical fans out there.
Like when you were saying last year, it wasn't on San Francisco, it was in Santa Clara.
Yeah, because they are in Santa Clara. The Super Bowl was not in San Francisco.
Yeah, and Santa Clara, correct me if I'm wrong, is further away from San
Mm.
Francisco than East Rutherford is from Manhattan,
Yeah, I believe on a good traffic day,
which is probably
like
never.
exactly. It's like no more than an hour, right? From San Francisco to Santa Clara, like maybe 45 minutes. And then on bad traffic days, you're in there for like 2 hours. So, whereas in New York, I guess it's somewhat similar, but mile wise, like you can easily get to New York City from New Jersey. Like
Oh, it's easy.
very simple.
You just got to
Um,
cross the river.
yeah.
Cross the river. Many
Well,
rivers to cross,
Well,
Padawan.
game day traffic in both cities are a disaster.
Now let's just admit that.
Like that's why New Yorkers take the train, you know? New Jerseyans can drive. New Yorkers gotta take the train.
But New
City.
Jersey has terrible drivers. They could be worse. They could be Massachusetts.
Ooh.
I'm getting bad from the state of Massachusetts now, aren't I?
Yeah, exactly. Um,
Come on, I'm
but
not that bad. Just don't ask the state of Massachusetts, the state of Florida, the state of Alabama, my ex-girlfriend. Yeah, just don't ask them. The state of Texas.
yeah. In any case, Nashville 2030 Super Bowl. Uh, and
You know,
it,
go ahead.
it's incredible stuff, though.
Yes. And whilst we're on the topic of football, I've been hearing something, and I forgot to bring this up last week. Is it true that the NFL is re-looking at the Rooney Rule?
I've not heard anything of that.
Because I heard about that last week.
In what sense, though? Like,
Okay, this is from NPR. This was dated the 15th, so this was dated Friday. Can the NFL's Rooney Rule survive the DEI backlash?
but is that them considering
Can I read
either
it?
the removal of it
May
or,
I read it?
yeah, sure.
The OG of DEI hiring policies is facing an existential challenge. Florida Attorney General James Uffmeyer has advanced his threats to take enforcement action against the NFL over its Rooney Rule, issuing the league an investigative subpoena on Wednesday. That makes professional football just the latest target of MAGA backlash to diversity, equality, and inclusion efforts. The Rooney Rule was adopted in 2003 amid an outcry over the lack of opportunities for black coaches in a league dominated by black talent. The thinking was that a consecrated effort to bring more minority candidates would help address the imbalance. While the effectiveness has been panned by many, including coaches, former coaches, the NFL Players Association, and football fans, the rule remains in force today. In its current forms, it requires NFL teams to at least two people of color or women for top jobs, including head coach and general manager, and at least one person of color or woman for quarterback coach and other senior roles. In March, Uffmeyer called on the NFL to suspend the rule altogether. Florida law is clear. Hiring decisions cannot be based on race, and the Rooney Rule mandates race-based decisions and incentives race-based decisions. That's discrimination. There's more, but I'm not going to read the rest of it. This is a long one.
So it sounds like to me that you have government officials or attorney general or whatever it is that they're trying to do. It seems like this is more of a challenge from politicians than it is the NFL trying to change um, their policy.
And listen, I have criticisms of the Rooney Rule,
Yeah, it's not perfect.
and here's my view on it. I think it's well intended.
Correct.
I think it has good intentions, and I believe everyone should get a fair shake.
Mhm.
But on the other hand, are you interviewing these people because you really are considering them? Do you really think they would be an asset to your organization? Or are you just doing this because you want to check off a box?
Well, here I'll give you an example. The Jets are a great example of this. Um, Last year, after last year, they fired Tanner Angstrand as offensive coordinator. They were going to keep Tanner Angstrand as the OC and then bring in like Frank Reich as like the play caller, whatever it is. They ended up firing Tanner Angstrand, and now all these like, and of course they were going to bring on Frank Reich eventually as the OC. However, they have to go through the Rooney Rule to hire Frank Reich, and they satisfied the Rooney Rule in a day. They at a Zoom interview with or whatever it was. They had an interview with two black coaches, and
Yes.
they did their due diligence with two other white coaches besides Frank Reich. They had extensive interviews with three other white head coaches, and they moved swiftly to get Frank Reich their role. But the Rooney Rule was satisfied in a day with those
Yes.
two virtual interviews. That's a problem
No, it
because
is.
it's not doing what it is intended to do, which is to give folks of color a fair shake at the job, a fair chance.
But no, like here's the thing, and like listen, I I think there needs to be adjustments made because like I just said, are we doing this because we believe that people should get a fair shake and everyone should have an equal playing field? Or are we just doing this because we wanna, or are we just doing this so we can check off a box? Like, look at the Brian Flores situation.
Yeah.
Like, that whole thing was because I guarantee you that whole thing, he was just being considered so they could check off a box. But now I think what the Florida Attorney General doing though is absurd.
Well, I think that's more of the a conservative Republican, you know, trying to again limit the opportunities of those of color because that dude's probably white or white-ish and wants to see his own people who are white get the maximum amount of opportunity. So,
But no, but that's the thing is, it's like the NFL, but I don't think you really do anything because the NFL is a private organization, remember?
well, yeah, I mean, look, ultimately the NFL
Has to make that their
they have
decision.
to make that decision, and I believe doesn't it have to be approved by the owners too?
I think so, yeah.
They ain't gonna change that.
They might, well, again, listen, again, I have many criticisms of the Rooney Rule, but we want to give everybody a fair shake, but we shouldn't just treat people as a box to check off.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we interviewed a black guy, box checked. Are we gonna hire him? Probably not. But we checked off the box. No, we don't want to do that. Are you, again, let me ask again, Reg, are you actually considering these candidates? Do you really think they'll be an ass? Like, listen, if you come in, they interview, you're considering them, but then you find someone better, it happens. But if you're just saying, I'm just interviewing you so I can check off a box,
Mhm.
then that's a problem. Then that is a problem.
And don't discount the the colorist aspect too, because there can be times, and of course, I'm not saying this happens across the NFL, but there also can be times where a coach could have a much lighter skin tone. A black coach can have a much lighter skin tone than others and be more hireable than someone, let's just say, of my type of skin tone.
Yeah, and this colorist thing, I've only learned about this recently.
You know, it's a real thing too. Don't discount that.
No, I won't. I only just learned about this fairly recently.
You know,
So, yeah, Rooney Rule, what's going to happen there? We don't know.
I think this is much of nothing. This is just some Republican being fucking angry that white people are being targets of DEI and all that stuff. It's it's just some white person trying to advance the cause of white people that don't need advancing because they've been ruling this country for centuries. So it's like,
You know, but I just heard it somewhere and I just wanted to get thoughts here. So, yeah. All right, Madge, anything else?
Rodgers signs a 1 year deal with the
Oh, I forgot
Steelers.
about that. Boo,
Boo.
hiss, we don't approve.
Yeah. Um, he'll be
Oh my
back another
God, Aaron,
season.
just go away.
Please leave us the fuck alone.
Will this be his final season?
Now we have to play that stupid ass game again.
I feel like we have to play this game every year. I'm very sick of
Boo.
this game. It's getting
Boo.
boring.
Enough. Enough.
Aaron, are you going to retire? Hold on. I need to go sit in the darkness room and think about it. I need to go sit in the darkness room and think about it.
Oh, God
And
damn.
then, Aaron, just retire. Go with your wife, who may or may not exist. No, no, that is a hill I'm willing to die on, Reg. I don't think Aaron Rodgers' wife is real.
Yeah.
Reggie, think about it. We've never met, we've never seen her. The players' wives have said they've never met her. So, yeah, I'm starting to think Aaron Rodgers' wife isn't real.
I'm not gonna play that game. Like, I'm not gonna
No,
play.
no, I am willing to die on that hill. So, Aaron, just go away, play with and go spend time with your wife who may or may not exist. Or Reggie, maybe she's a blow up doll.
Yeah.
Maybe Aaron Rodgers is married to a blow up doll. It could be real. All right, so I think that's it for today.
Yeah. SIP on SIN's YouTube channel. Number 512 in the books. Sponsored as always by the Dugout of Millwood. And you can follow us on X at Insanity Rio. You can follow us on Facebook, Sports Sanity Podcast, Sports Sanity Network as well. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell button, get those notifications. Log on to our website, sportssanitynetwork.com, and continue following and supporting the network. Also, if you're in areas like me who are going to be up in the 90-degree
Mine too.
range,
Oh my God, the what? Stay cool, folks.
it's going to be hot out there.
So yeah, don't go outside unless absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
Stay hydrated.
Take care of yourselves.
Yeah, the weather's gonna be weird up here. Today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, it's supposed to be in the 90s. And then Wednesday, it's supposed to dip down to the 60s.
It is horrible, Bill. It's horrible.
Yeah, I don't like the hot weather.
Oh, damn. But yeah, please stay cool. And
Stay cool, folks.
if it's hot in your workplace, yell at your manager.
And tell them to put on AC.
Like, unacceptable.
All right.
Um,
So SIPSIN, check out our website, www.sportsinsanitynetwork.com. Check out our blog, check out our podcast, available on all platforms. And check us here on the YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell.
bye.
Stay safe and take